One of the things that's probably the most important aspect of game theory is to be allocentric. So ego is self and allo is other. And you have to understand the other person's perspective. Now, the problem is that when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, the normal thing to do is to put yourself in their shoes as opposed to how they will react in their shoes. Because they may disagree with me, they may have different information, different preferences. And it's not what I would do in Saddam Hussein's shoes, it's what he would do in his shoes. And I probably disagree with him on that point, but that's not what game theory tells you. If you have to think about what the dear leader will do, it's not what a, quote, Western or profit-maximizing person will do. It's what is that person's objective. And we often say that the other side is irrational because they're not doing what we would have done. Actually, it's us who's irrational for not really thinking about what's driving and motivating the other side. I think that what people are focused on now is really the end game, and what game theory tells you to do is look forward and reason backward and understand where you want to end up and then work backward from there. Now, one of the things that often helps people appreciate that is to actually see the endpoint. So if various factions there appreciate that there is a deadline for doing something, well, that gives them an incentive to say, oh my God, if we don't reach this outcome by this amount of time, there's going to be a problem, as opposed to, no, this sort of current status quo can keep on going. And so, of course, the consequence is, well, what happens if they fail? And then you have sort of the failed state. And can they actually get to any outcome by 18 months or whatever time frame is provided? But what we tend to do is literally do each step at the time what looks best. And the best example of this was really the failed policy of our defense secretary, who didn't plan about what he would do after he won. As opposed to starting with, okay, if I win, what would I want to do? If I'm not succeeding, what would I want to do? And play out each of those steps and counter steps, and then work backwards to the present. And so we need to do the exact same thing. You know, what do we do if we leave and it does blow up? Does that mean that how do we then come back? What does the deadline do? That to me is, of course, the basics of strategy, but unfortunately, it hasn't always been done here. I'd like to literally see how they imagine playing out both scenarios. If you're the endpoint, if there is no endpoint, okay, we know what this is today, but I don't think that actually is sustainable. And so, you know, I think it was the line of Herb Stein who says that which isn't sustainable won't keep on going on forever. And so just because something is working right now, whether it be the surge or something else, doesn't mean that it's a long-run answer. That to me, so one side has given a perspective which may not work, but at least it's a chain of strategy. The other is saying, well, we're just going to keep on doing what seems to be okay at the time.